Hi, I'm Regan Black, and it's a pleasure to be here at A Tale of Many Reviews at the invitation of Julie, in conjunction with the blog Tour de Troupe this Memorial Day weekend, which was organized, of course, by the Indie Book Collective. When we were planning the blog Tour de Troupe, the authors were asked which book, of course, they'd like to feature, and people then asked me why I would choose to feature book 3 in the series as opposed to starting with book 1. And the answer is because it features a military hero. Veil of Justice features Nathan and Kelly, and Nathan is a soldier who is on a mission to liberate fellow soldiers who've been manipulated and abused by a program that was designed to protect them. So to give you a little overview about Shadows of Justice, it starts with Justice Incarnate. Book 1 features Jaden Michaels, and she is a true alpha heroine. She's the first alpha that I wrote, and I just absolutely love her. She's in Chicago in 2096, kicking butt and taking names on a mission to find the perfect weapon to eliminate a demonic entity who's been plaguing women and children for centuries. Jaden's reincarnated in the 2096 era, and while she recognizes the demon, she's still looking for the way to take him out forever. That takes us then to Invasion of Justice, which is book 2 and features the reincarnation of Jaden's sister from a previous life. So they meet in Chicago, where Petra is an empath working on crime scenes for different police agencies. Her hero counterpart in Invasion of Justice is Gideon, a Marine who happens to be at a low point in his career, and he feels like babysitting an empath who has a power he doesn't believe in is well beneath his abilities. As their journey continues, though, he starts to wonder if he's working for the right side. That carries us then to Veil of Justice, again Nathan the soldier on a mission to liberate his fellow soldiers. As he goes undercover and gets in trouble, he reaches out with his telepathic ability and finds Kelly. She's searching for the people who murdered her father and brothers, and it turns out that their two journeys coincide, and that is one action-packed ride. So I hope as part of the blog Tour de Troupe you will definitely enjoy that book and enjoy sharing it with the troops. Future endeavors for me include Tracking Shadows, which is a current release, and while it also takes place in 2096 Chicago, it is not specifically related to the Shadows of Justice series other than through the characters and the setting. Tracking Shadows features Slick Mickey, who is the smuggler, because when coffee got overregulated and eliminated from the public consumption, people didn't want to give it up. Much like me, I can't imagine living life without coffee, and I would definitely fight any such legislation. A question that came up while we were preparing for this event was, what's different about 2096 other than it's in the future? Well, I let my imagination sort of go with this, which is what you should do. Writing in 2096 is really liberating for me, and I have a lot of fun. I call it my personal fantasy land. But the thing about it that I find really different is that I did a lot of research by looking at where we are now and how long it took us to get to where we are now with our technology and our advancements and our connectivity. And then I just sort of fast forward into the future. How far along will we be? And one of the things when I was writing Justice Incarnate, one of the things, carbs were the evil thing. And I wondered, if the government gets to micromanaging us, and what if they regulate things like caffeine and sugar intakes, what will people do? And it seemed very obvious that, at least for people like me who adore our coffee, we would never stand for legislation, or I'd like to hope that we wouldn't stand for legislation that would regulate our coffee. So instead, in 2096, where coffee is regulated, there of course is now a smuggling ring to cope with that and to keep addicts like me content with our full calf coffee on a daily basis. Another question that has come up is, looking at my question sheet, why will readers connect with your characters? Well, I like to think that primarily readers connect with my characters because my characters have very unique talents and gifts, but we all do. Everyone has something that they can do, something that they enjoy doing that sets them apart from other people. That's why we're individuals. And I think my characters, whether they're happy or pleased or unhappy or frustrated with their particular talents, they learn to play to their strengths. And I think that's something that everyone really can benefit. If you learn to accept your strengths and build on them, you'd be surprised how far you can go. And of course, that's one of the things that happened to me when I was learning to write. When I was first writing fiction for publication, I worried that what I wrote was too dark. And that really kind of held me back. I wasn't sure about it. And a very wise author told me, what happens when you're sitting at the keyboard and the words are just flowing? And I admitted that it's when I was writing these dark, exciting stories. And she said, then run with it. And I'm so glad I did, because accepting that strength, as unexpected as it was, set me apart from the pack. And that's how Justice Incarnate really came into a full-length novel. Again, somebody asked if I include real-life experiences in my books. Well, aside from my real-life need for coffee on a daily basis, I think that's kind of fun how coffee came in. It was just sort of a fun subplot, a little counterpoint to the action going on. Aside from that, I guess I'd have to say when I was writing Invasion of Justice, book 2 in the series, my character Gideon had a shoulder problem, and it wasn't until I got to editing that book that I realized I had given him the same shoulder problem I was struggling with at the time. It was just kind of funny to me that showed up, and I didn't even recognize it showing up into the writing. But as for using real people, no, I don't deliberately go out and do that, although it is a writer's prerogative, and you often hear fiction writers saying if something happens, at least we can kill them off in the next fiction book. But really, no, I don't. I write what I see as far as interactions and people and things like that. Some of those character traits certainly come through. When Justice Incarnate first came out, an attorney, I think in California, had the same name as my villain, and I don't know if he got it from Google Alerts or how he found out that his name was the same, and he emailed me and made some comment that he knew that the judge that shared his name was certainly honorable and all this, and I just kind of had to laugh because he hadn't read the book. And I was very glad that we have the fiction disclaimer, so no, I didn't set out to use anyone's name on purpose at all. It's been a pleasure to be here today for A Tale of Many Reviews, and I hope you'll come back and visit this site often, as well as visit Regan Black frequently. Happy reading!